Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. And in today's Apex Legends video, I thought we'd talk about something that, at least to me, seemed like an important topic to discuss, which is, of course, the overall worst weapons to choose in the game. Now, you're probably thinking, Accureye, what do you mean the worst weapons to choose in the game? Aren't all weapons really good? And that's kind of where you're wrong. I mean, in some people's opinion, yes, all weapons are good. A few weapons that come to mind when it comes to people who pretty much praise these weapons, and I mean praise these weapons as pretty much the best weapons in the game, are actually some of the worst weapons in the game, believe it or not. And some of these weapons that are like praised as being some of the best weapons in the game are like the Devotion, the Triple Take, the R301. And these weapons, while they have high praise for people, they're actually, surprisingly enough, the worst weapons in the game. They are some of the weapons that you just do not want to see if you get a chance. You don't want to pick them up if you get a chance. Now, early game, you'll probably want to pick these guns up just because they're going to be the only weapon you'll find. But, I mean, outside of early game, you probably don't want to bother with these weapons that have choice that people are praising to be the best weapons in the game. For instance, like I said, the R301, the Triple Take, the Devotion, heck, even something like the what is it called? Gosh, I forgot what the name was. The longbow. I mean, these are weapons you don't want to pick up if you could. But, I mean, why are these weapons so bad? Why do you not want to pick them up? Well, I mean, honestly, it's mostly because they're just some of the worst weapons in the game. They just don't serve a purpose in the game overall. At least, in my personal opinion, they don't serve a purpose, and they aren't going to ever serve a purpose, at least to me. Now, this is, of course, my personal opinion. This is, of course, my personal thought, and what I believe about this, about the game in general. And that is that, you're going to find that these weapons are pretty bad. They're fairly useless. Now, it's not because they weren't trying to be useless. It's not because they were, just, bad weapons. It's just because, like, the way that they are designed, the way that they were, made to be used, it's kind of like they're just not in a good position for use. They're not in a point of, having it to, having it to where they would be useful outside of maybe close-up situations. Obviously, weapons like for instance, weapons like, for instance, shotguns, no matter what they are, they're useful. They will be used all the time. And that's the thing, is they're all good weapons. Shotguns and stuff like that are great. But, it's kind of the thing where, it's kind of a thing where, people are just using them to, to think that, people aren't using Peacekeepers. People aren't using EVA 8s. People aren't using Mozambiques because, I mean, let's face it, they feel useless. They feel like, oh, why would I ever use a shotgun when I can use a R301 or R99 or even, like, maybe a Hemlock or Flatline or even Spitfire to get the job done. And that's the thing. It's like, too often we get into a motion of using Spitfires, using Hemlocks or whatever just to get the job done. And, yes, it does get the job done to a degree, but it'll never truly have the same, the same effect of using a gun that can be, winnable, make the game winnable. And while the guns that I've mentioned already are the worst weapons, why do they make them a worse weapon? What is the issue with them? Well, I mean, I think I already touched base on that before, but like something like for instance, the triple shot. It does 65 damage per ADS shot, and it's a good weapon in the sense of, oh hey look, I can do 65 damage a shot. But I think people only look at the damage factor. They don't look at the overall way the gun works. For instance, the triple shot, it fires 3 spreaded shots in one motion. 3 spread shots. Now, you may be thinking, Accureye, that's not a bad idea. That's like at hip fire, that would be kind of like a shotgun spread. And yes, that's true. But the chances of you having that shotgun spread effect be effective versus you actually using something like the Peacekeeper, the EVA 8, or even the Mozambique, it's like you would probably be better off using a shotgun than you would actually using a a gun like the triple shot. Now, what about the Devotion? You're probably thinking, Accureye, that's the best weapon in the game. It does the most damage. And by far, yes, it does do the most damage. But the problem is the Devotion pretty much has the worst spread until it warms up. Until the gun warms up, the Devotion has the worst spread in the game. Same goes with, for instance, the Havoc. It has the longest warm-up before it even gets into the point of, oh, I can use it now. Now, if the Havoc had personally, if the Havoc had something like, for instance, a shorter warm-up time, like it does when it gets the turbocharger, then by all means, yes, it would be way, way, way better, and it would be more often used. But I think if it was used like that, or if it had that short warm-up like it did when it gets the turbocharger, it would end up being a gun that would need less damage, or would be nerfed for its damage. So, I mean, as it stands, there's a give and a take there. So, what about the R301? Why do I not like the R301? Why do I decide not to use the R301? Well, simply put, the R301, the only reason it has high accuracy is if you put it on single fire mode. In full auto mode, the R301 pretty much is a useless weapon. It's pretty much just a terrible weapon that, that pretty much is just not necessary. It feels useless. It seems useless. It seems pretty much pathetic in a way, if you will. And I think that's just the main thing, is that it's pretty much a pathetic excuse of a weapon. I mean, it does low damage first and foremost, but at the same time, it's also just pathetic when it comes to its use. It doesn't have much damage. It doesn't have much buyability because its spread is just so bad. I mean, you'd be better off if you're going to use a light gun, use the R99 or get an alternator, because those have the low spread while still having really, really good rate of fire. So, I mean, in general, it makes sense. But with that being said, I mean, why do I praise something like the G7? I mean, the G7 seems like it's pretty bad, and for a sniper, maybe it is bad, but technically speaking, it's one of the best snipers you'll get in the game. If you're really looking at using a sniper that has some versatility, that can be used in both, situations of, close range combat and long range combat, then, obviously, I think that the G7 is a great weapon. It's a good choice for anyone who is looking to kind of edge out the competition, if you will. So yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on the weapons. Those are my thing. And you're probably thinking, Accureye, you've not touched base on the Craver or some of the other weapons like that. And true, Craver is just it's of course a special sniper that you can get from loot drops from time to time. But the problem with the Craver is that while it does 125 damage per shot, 250 if you're looking at 250 if you're looking at something like, for instance, the headshots, it's just not good outside of early game. Outside of early game, it's just not a good weapon. It's kind of a bad weapon. It's just terrible. Now, the Mastiff Shotgun, I will admit, is probably one of the better weapons, and if you can find a Mastiff Shotgun, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the game. You're probably going to win. And you're probably going to win with how much damage it does. But, I mean, with that being said, there's not a whole lot left to say. I will talk about the best weapons, like the Spitfire, later on, the Wingman, the Peacekeeper, the Eva 8, the Mass, the Mozambique Shotgun, the R99, the Alternator, and even the Prowler and the Hemlock, in time, and why they're some of the best weapons. But I think that'll be saved for another video. I think that'll be saved for another time, where we get into distant talk about the best weapons in the game. I mean, as you can see here, the R301, as you can see here, its only redeeming quality is the single fire shot. In Fallout, though, it's pretty much useless. It's pretty much just a terrible weapon that I don't see why it exists. I can't see anyone who would want to use the R301 as their weapon of choice. It's literally just, a weapon that, to me, is like, not going to happen, Anyway, that's my thought. Those are my choices. Those are my thoughts and my overall, feeling about weapons and about the for the situation of what's going on. So at least that's just the thing, is that it just doesn't have it just doesn't have the viability that you want it to have. It's not going to have the it's not going to have what you're expecting, I guess you could say. It's pretty much going to be like, well, it's there, but I don't see the use of it. I don't really see the point of it. And that's the problem with most of these weapons, is that, like the P2020, for instance, we haven't even touched base on it. And I'll touch base on why it's actually a decent weapon throughout the game, if you're going to use it throughout the game, or you have to use it throughout the game. The RE45, it's really just a good starting weapon. After that, you'll probably want to change out of it as soon as you can. But that's because its damage is low, and it has just a high recoil. But with that being said, I mean, it is what it is. So hopefully you've all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the talk about all the different weapons, and you've seen, my thoughts about the R99. As you can see, the R99 has a pretty good low recoil. It's pretty good at distance, close and long. So, it's at least a choice that you could go with. But, with that being said, I mean, thank you everybody for joining me on this video and watching this video. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me on this video. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this has helped you get a better idea on what weapons you should choose and what weapons you should go with when it comes to playing the game. But, like I've said, with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. And, I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on, I'm live, of course, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure, for about 4 to 5 hours. But I've lately also been live on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. Potentially I'm live on Sunday and Friday, but those will just be bonus streams if I am live on Sunday or Friday. Monday and Tuesday I'm live for about 2 to 3 hours in the evening or at night. Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday I'm live for about 4 to 5 hours. And with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And like I said before, if you want to follow me on Twitch, I'm live at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I'm live, like I said, when I did. And yeah, with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.